I'm not lost, but I'm not found. I'm not up, but I'm not down. And I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and it's so easy. And I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and it's so hard. But all I'm really sure of is I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green. Got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not wrong, but I'm not right. I'm not lazy, but I don't try. I need you, and I need you, and I need you, and I need you, and it's not easy. I need you, and I need you, and I need you, and I need you, and it's not hard. And all I'm really sure of is that I just don't know why. I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green. Got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green. Got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green. Got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere in between.
Hi there, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Monday, and it's Monday, March 11th already. Great to see everyone here. Matt Thone, thank you so much. I hope I said that right, Matt Thone. Anyway, Matt, thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're here today for the live stream. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask away. So, let's start by saying hi. Nick Johnson is here. Happy Monday, Aaron. Looking forward to a great show. Me too, Nick. Great to see you. Isaac Dust. Good afternoon, everyone. Aaron, I'm eager to hear what you think of the new Shure Move mic. Is that Move mic or Move mic system? Please talk me out of it. That's really what we should do here. We should be talking each other out of spending money, not into spending money. I like that idea. That's a great idea. In fact, I was thinking a while ago about doing a YouTube channel like that. You know, like just saying all the bad points about everything to make people not buy it, to make people save their money. So as you can tell, I'm missing that hour's sleep we lost last night in America. Rosanna, great to see you. Thank you again for moderating. Appreciate it. And Lee as well. Really appreciate it all the time. Marco, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Did you see Liam Gallagher and John Squire on Jonathan Ross? I thought it was a very funny interview. on Friday night. I watched it on YouTube. Eric has a question. Best, least intrusive pickup from Martin OM18. And Lee says, "Bye, Isaac. You know you want to." Now, Isaac, I think I probably can talk you out of it. Actually, on a serious note, I think I can talk you out of it if that's what you want. There's no problem with that. Let's go straight into the questions then. We got questions straight away. Have I got anything to report myself? You know, I've got a ton of videos to do. I knew this would happen going into NAMM, because going into NAMM, I had already had some videos backlogged to do, and then NAMM was actually really great. As it turned out, I got some really good contacts, and I got some videos to make. Nothing. How do I say this? Kind of videos to test the waters with some companies, try some things out. So you'll be seeing definitely some videos this week. Please do watch them. Please do leave comments on them. That's going to really help me out. But yeah, I got those to do. And let's go straight in with the questions. So Isaac was first. Now, I hadn't heard about this system, although I was on YouTube last night, and Ecamm Live is the software I'm using now to broadcast this live stream. And they had Laura Davidson, or what's her name now? Forgot. Or is it Laura Davidson now? Oh, if I messed up, I apologize, Laura. But Laura, I'll just say Laura. Laura used to work for TC Helicon. So there's a connection there, demoing their products back in the day. And now she works for Shure microphones. So let's look this thing up on the web here. And let me know if you bought any new gear this week as well, please. I'll give you an update. I'll give you an update on the Line 6 and also the Headrush, the Sheeran Looper. That's right. Move mic. Okay, here it is. So yeah, I don't know much about this yet. I just saw it on this live stream last night. So I kind of guessed what it is. It's basically what I bought when I was at NAMM. So I bought the DJI version. This is basically their version of it. Now, there's a few things about this one that I was not impressed about. I haven't read all the specs, so I'm only talking based on a few things I heard last night on this live stream. I didn't even watch the whole live stream. Okay, Shure do make very good stuff. This is their wireless mic that you would use for to pair with your phone to do live streaming and interviews. So the one that let me go back to the beginning. I had the Rode Wireless Go, and I only used it a few times, but when I used it, it was good. Then they released the Wireless Pro, which had a lot of cool accessories that came with it. So I bought that. When I was at NAMM, the Wireless Pro was getting little glitches in the audio. So I freaked out and didn't want to ruin the streams from NAMM and bought the DJI Mic 2. There's just a million of these things out now. It's crazy. So I bought this one with the 2 mics when I was at NAMM. And I really like it. You can record to the mics in float, so you can't clip the audio when you come to edit later on. It's easier to set the gain than on the Rode one. The only thing is, the actual audio out of the box isn't as good on this as on the Rode. The Rode has a nice EQ on the audio that's recorded. So with the DJI, you need to load it into an editing program and then EQ the audio, which some people prefer because you're able to EQ the audio how you want to. But if you're doing a live stream, you don't always have that ability to process the audio on the way in. Like Ecamm Live has no audio processing built in. Everything has to be done by the audio device that you're plugging into it. So, therefore, the DJI, that's the one downside of the DJI over the Rode. The Rode has a nicer sound. The DJI, I find, has better features and was a bit more stable in the environment that I tried it in. So then here comes along Shure with their version, but as far as I can tell, the Shure version will not record to the device itself, and I think that's really important. to have the ability just to clip these on and record the audio directly to the device, I think is really important. So I'm gonna go with the DJI, and you can get one with one mic or two mics. So I think overall the one I'm happiest with based on my experience is the DJI. The Rode might be better for you if you want one that will go straight into a software platform that doesn't have its own EQ built in. And the Shure one, I can't really comment. I haven't tried it. But the fact I don't believe it has the hardware recording, that kind of is a no-go for me. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But it's so new, it's so new. So you'd have to try it out. All this stuff is wireless, and the wireless things can be very hit and miss anyway. And then especially wherever you're using them can be very hit and miss. Obviously, it depends the environment that you're in and what other frequencies are jumping around the room. Okay, so I'm going to say hold off for now. Wait for more reviews. If you really need one, I recommend the DJI at the moment based on the fact I haven't tried the Shure. But yeah, I wouldn't jump in and buy the Shure immediately. I haven't even seen reviews of it yet, so I would wait for those to come out first. But man, there's a million of these mics now, isn't there? I mean, I've got two of the Rode ones now that I've got to sell. I got the original. I got the Rode Wireless Go, the Rode Wireless Pro. I got to sell both of those. And yeah, so I'm just going to stick with the DJI because it's been working for me. But yeah, it doesn't sound the best out of the box, but it's otherwise everything else about it is great. All right, then we had a question about pickups. What's the most natural sound I can get? Was thinking. Oh no, sorry. Oh yeah, the first part of the question is, what's the best, least intrusive pickup for a Martin OM18? So the OM18, I'm going to use this site to reference these things, just so we know what we're talking about. Oh, you can't even get an OM18 anymore, is that right? So I'll do, I thought they brought back these guitars. Let's look at the Triple O18. That's basically the same thing, but short scale, right? So, what you've got here, and you've got to bear this in mind when you look at a pickup. I always tell people this. It's an OM. It's a small body, first of all. That's an important thing to note. It's mahogany back and sides. Right? It's good to take all this into consideration. It'd be good to know what kind of music you play, Eric, as well, and where you play and what you plug into. There's some really important questions that I need to know the answers to give you my opinion. But you're basically, so far you're asking for, okay, first of all, you said the best. There is no best, so forget the word best. Okay, I'm not being funny, but there is no best. That's why I need to know where you're playing, how often you're playing, what you're plugging into, what kind of songs you're playing, just to give you a recommendation based on those factors. Least intrusive, that I can answer that. That's the K&K. And let me see here. K&K Pure Mini. So this is the least, well, no, actually, no, not true. The least intrusive pickup for your guitar, you could argue, is a sound hole pickup. So I really like the Fishman Rare Earth mic blend. Great system. And the reason I say it's the least invasive, was that your wording? Intrusive. Least intrusive, least invasive. The reason I say that is because you can put it in the guitar, play with it, sounds very good, and then you can take it out completely. So that's got to be the least intrusive pickup, right? Especially if you don't install the end pin professionally, you just run the cable out of the guitar. That's not the best looking, that's not the cleanest solution, but that's probably one of the most least intrusive ways of doing it. If you want something permanently in the guitar, least intrusive, then I'm going to say K&K Pure Mini. Do I use the K&K Pure Mini? No, and I'd rather not use it if I don't have to. But it is I do recommend it in these situations where someone wants something very minimal in the guitar. There's no battery, and that does mean you've then got to provide your own preamp outside the guitar. And some people don't want to do that, and you've got to buy that extra preamp if you don't already have one. But in the guitar, what you see on the screen here, that's literally it. And it's a good price too, 110 bucks. So it's affordable. It's just basically the M-pin jack and the 3 little sensors that you glue on to the guitar inside the guitar. Some people love them and some people don't. And I don't hate them. I think they sound amazing for what they are, but I just always have too much feedback. Now, if I use an EQ pedal or have a good mixer with me, I can get rid of that feedback using Notch EQ. I can take those feedback frequencies out and I can get a very good sound, especially with some kind of impulse response as well. Some of the best sounds I've ever had direct are from a K&K with IRs, impulse responses. Especially during when I did the lockdown gigs on here. Got some great tones. Got some great tones live as well. But I do have to have a lot of support in the EQ to take out the things that are feeding back. So if you play at very low volumes, if you want to experiment with those kind of pedals, the IR pedals, impulse response pedals, it's a good way to go. I do recommend it for that. If you're going to tell me you play if you plug in very rarely, but you want the pickup in the guitar, then I'm going to say go for it because you're only plugging in occasionally. If you play, like I play 3 or 4 times a week, I didn't want to deal with it. I got it to the point where I got a very good sound with the LR Baggs VoicePrint DI with loads of EQing and IRs and stuff. Got a great sound out of an OM28 with this. But then one night I went to a jam night, or I went to jam with a band, and I plugged into the mixer with no DI, no time to grab my DI, my pedal, and it sounded complete garbage because there was no DI. It was the last input of the mixer that had no preamp in it. And I didn't want to deal with that. I just don't want that, that one night where I have to just plug in and play and someone walks in and that's going to lead to a contract that I could get. I don't want that to be jeopardized by the pickup in my guitar. I'm not willing to do that. But if I didn't play professionally, if I plugged in once a month for open mic, and I always had my preamp with me, or I knew the board at the gig had the preamp there, I would definitely consider it. So don't get me wrong. Okay, let me see what other follow-up we got from you here. Want the most natural sound I can get. Was thinking K&K. I'm sure you've talked about it before, but I don't have hours to watch all the videos you have. Well, why not? Come on, Eric. You're just asking. The only problem is you're asking the golden question. How do I get this is the thing I used to say to LR Baggs 5 years ago. I want nothing in the guitar, or I want the K&K style pickup in my guitar, and I want it to sound natural. And it's just not possible, unfortunately. You're going to have to compromise somewhere. You're either going to have to get something like an Anthem SL, which is what I would get, and have stuff in the guitar and a very good, high-quality sound that works live, or you're going to have nothing in the guitar like the K&K and then have external boxes to fix any feedback issues and make it more natural with impulse responses because there's no mic in the guitar. That's kind of the trade-off you have to decide. And then everything in between, undersaddle pickups, batteries, no batteries. There's just a million options, and it really does depend on the questions that I said earlier. And then it depends on you having to make that final decision. It really isn't a very easy thing to answer. David's here. Good afternoon. K&K feeds back too easy for me. Yeah, me too. That's really my biggest problem with it. It's unpredictable. He's bought several pedals this week, a Dunlop Mini Wah, an MXR Mini Phase 95, and the EH Key 9. Why have you bought all these pedals when you have modelers? That's what I want to know. Eric says, yes, I did actually. He bought a custom shop OM18 Sinker mahogany, nice. Got to run my Tone Traveler on it as much as possible to get that Addy top going in between playing. I've never tried the Tone Traveler. So the Tone Traveler is something that you put on the guitar and it vibrates the top of the guitar basically to get it moving. I never tried it. And there's lots of arguments online about that kind of stuff, you know. But in the old days, people used to put their guitars in front of speakers, and the speaker would move the wood. So that idea has been around for a long time. Okay, Eric, this is helpful. You play at home, small acoustic. Okay, so you might be okay, because if you're playing at home you're going to be playing at lower volumes, and you're going into an acoustic amp with a loop pedal. So if you're doing that, I think the K&K may work for you. I really do, because at those kind of volumes, and you're hearing the amp, it can be pretty good. You know, it doesn't sound great I use in-ear monitors. Doesn't sound great with in-ear monitors. You're not using in-ear monitors. It can feed back at medium, regular volumes. You're not going to be playing at those kind of volumes. You're in a controlled environment. You want something not intrusive. I would say it's good. The other thing to consider is the LR Baggs Hi-Fi, which is, I actually prefer in a way because there's no glue. The K&K does need to be glued in. The Baggs Hi-Fi does not need to be glued in. All right, so it's a bit more money, but you've got your preamp there. You no longer need that external preamp because you've got a preamp in the system. You've also got volume and tone, which you don't have on the K&K. Everything is adhesive, so you can remove it cleanly and easily at any time. The only thing is you do have a bit more stuff for the guitar. Look, this is what you have in the guitar. Not this thing. This is a jig to install it. You have a battery in this black bag. You have the end pin, which you have on the K&K anyway, the sensors, which you have on the K&K anyway, and the controls for your volume and tone. I would rather go this route myself, for the reasons that I mentioned earlier about not wanting to deal with preamps and things and the feedback. I found the Hi-Fi feedback for me on a couple of guitars a lot less than the K&K. It would feedback on maybe one frequency, where the K&K would feedback on multiple frequencies. So I also don't like glue at all. I don't like gluing stuff into a guitar. I know it's inside the guitar and it doesn't really matter. You'll never see it. But I just don't even like the thought of something being permanently glued into the guitar. I'd much rather use the tape. This is all 3M tape. So I think you should. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I would do the Hi-Fi over the K&K. I would consider the K&K because it's passive. If you're absolutely sure that's the way you want to go. Otherwise, a much safer option is the Hi-Fi. And then you mentioned realistic sound. Well, there is a version of the Hi-Fi coming out. It's more money. Right now they're saying it'll be $449. We don't know if that's going to be the final price or not, but it looks like it will be. This one will have a microphone as well. So again, even more stuff in the guitar. But that mic is going to sound very natural. And you mentioned natural sound. And you see, this is the trade-off you need to decide on your own what to do here. Because to have that really natural sound, you need the Hi-Fi with the mic. You need all that stuff in the guitar. So you either go K&K, completely passive, very minimal but glued in, a Hi-Fi, bit more stuff, got your preamp in there and your control over the tone, or you wait for the Hi-Fi duet, but even more stuff, even more money, but undoubtedly going to be way more natural because you've got a microphone in the guitar, not a piezo sensor. You've got the piezo sensor and the microphone. It's going to sound way more natural. So there you go. There's 3 options for you. I think they're the way you should go based on what you've said. And then you've got to decide which one you're going to get. And please, if you do get one, do let us know on a future stream what you think of it and if it worked for you or not, because this is all good research, right? Country rock and blues. Okay, very good. The Journey version of the K&K is a cheaper alternative. Now, this is true, but I haven't tried it. And I noticed they sell it now at Sweetwater. I mentioned this last week. because I thought it was interesting they sell it on Sweetwater, because I was thinking if you buy a guitar from Sweetwater now, you could have them install this into it for you. That's kind of cool. I don't know if they will, but it's worth checking. So this is the Journey Tech version. It's half the price of the K&K. It's only $49.99. The reviews are excellent. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never tried it. It's basically the same concept. If you want to save money, then you could go for this. It's really up to you. Like I said, I haven't tried this one. I don't imagine this will sound much different to the K&K. I imagine they're going to sound very similar, if not the same. And they're still going to have the same kind of feedback issues. I imagine. I've got to be careful what I say because I haven't tried it. But, you know, K&K is a standard, isn't it? If you ever want to sell that guitar, if you say, look, it's got a K&K in it, it's going to probably add to the resale value somewhere along the line, if that's something that you might consider in the future. Capt Cran, can't stay, wanted to say hello and get a like. Thank you, I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Thank you very much. Eric, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Yes, Aaron, I might go with that or the sound hole one you mentioned, because I basically just amplify at home. Occasionally I will when I go to my buddy's house to jam. Well, if you plug in at home a lot, like I rarely play unplugged at home. I plug in almost all the time, right? So that's why I have the Cole Clark guitars with the built-in pickup systems that sound good, because I just plug in all the time. If you're going to be plugging in regularly, if you're going to plug in often, then I would probably not go for the sound hole pickup, because you'll be taking it in and out the guitar all the time. I don't think I'd enjoy doing that. But it does have a mic on it, which is nice. I don't know. That's why there's no answer to this question. I'll just show you the one I'm talking about. It's the Fishman Rare Earth Blend. It does sound very good. This one. And this is good because you can use it in multiple guitars, right? Get the one with the mic. That mic sounds very good. I tell you what, this really is a very natural sounding pickup. And I know I did a review of this. They sent me one to review, but I actually had one 2 years before that, and I used it at one of my gigs, and I never forget. It stuck in my mind that night. I was like, this sounds really natural. Really natural, but it doesn't, because there's no piezo in there, it doesn't have that cut. Now, piezos are harsh and sound fake, but they also have this cut to them. The Fishman Rare Earth is a magnetic with a mic, so it sounds very natural, but it hasn't got that cut. But you might not need that cut. I'm used to it, and I like it for what I do, but you might actually not. You're talking about a natural sound, and you're going to be hearing some of your guitar anyway in the room at home. So I think, yeah, I really do think you should at least try this one before you do any modifications to your guitar. I would get one of these if you're in America and get this from Sweetwater. Remember, you can return it if you don't like it. If you want to return this and get the Journey one version instead, you can do, or even the Hi-Fi. You can do that. So I think now I think about it, the fact this has a microphone in it and you've got that nice Martin, I think I would get this. If you absolutely love it, you could have it permanently installed with the jack plug installed into the guitar. Or you could just have that run out of the guitar when you're playing at home if you're not playing very often. And then if for whatever reason you don't want the sound, like I don't like having something in the sound hole myself. I like to keep it clear. So if that does happen to you, then you could always return it and get the Hi-Fi. Or, like I said, if you can stretch the Hi-Fi Duet and wait a few more months, I think that's going to be a good option too. But yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have one of these because you can use it in another guitar, or if a friend comes over to jam, you can let them borrow this and plug into an amp or your amp, the other channel, whatever, as well. Again, there's no answer. If there was an answer, I wouldn't have started this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel was started based upon the search for amplified tone for acoustic guitars. So asking me to sum that up in 10 minutes is absolutely impossible. But all the options I've shown you today, I do recommend. I personally wouldn't do the K&K unless I was going to process it with a bunch of other pedals. And then that's going to add to the price, of course. But yeah. Whatever you do let us know which one you liked. Oh dear. Isaac said, Lee, I just ordered it. Aaron is no match for gas. I already watched a ton of reviews, and the deluxe package with 2 mics and receiver is perfect for my use case. Can return if need be. Okay, I haven't seen it. I haven't tried it. I haven't seen any reviews of it. I recently bought this DJI when I already had 2 other systems, which really hurt me to have to do that. Because I now I've got 3 systems, and I don't even need those other 2. I've got to sell them, which sucks. I need to do that tonight. I need to list those tonight. But yeah. I tell you what, that's great. Let us know if you like it when you get it. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't even watched I haven't watched any reviews or anything. I don't know all the specs or anything. So there might be some killer feature there that is great. The Tone Traveler definitely works. I use it on a few guitars in between playing at home, 75% volume. I personally know it's different. So that's very good. One day I'll try it out. Lee says, I knew it, Isaac. It was just the way it was written. I sometimes think that with this channel, like it doesn't always matter what I say, because if someone wants to try something, they're going to try it, right? And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't listen to me. We all like different stuff. There's people out there right now that are thinking, well, I use a K&K and I love it, and I use it professionally. I absolutely love the K&K pickup. And that's great. I know people that use it professionally. That's great. It's just it doesn't work for me. So it may or may not work for you. But at the end of the day, the only way you ever really know is by trying the stuff yourself in your guitar, with your amplifier, in your situation. That's the only way you can ever really know. But it is nice to have a place to go and ask people their opinions. Like, have you tried this one? Have you compared them? What did you think? But ultimately, you have to try it for yourself. All right. Chris said, I didn't like the Fishman Rare Earth. It had a lot of noise. Oh. If accidentally tapped when strumming, I sold one. So here's the thing. The Rare Earth installs at the front of the sound. Well, you can install it anywhere in the sound hole you want, right? I'm trying to see if there's a picture. I can't. So basically, I installed it at the front, like near where the neck of the guitar is. I always strum down near the bridge. But okay, I can imagine if you strum up, some people strum up near where the neck meets the body. I can imagine you might hit it with your pick. I don't know. And then with some guitars, you kind of like adjust to them. Like my Cole Clark now has a humbucker in the bridge. So on the first gig, I noticed that I almost felt like it was in the way. It actually wasn't in the way at all, but in my mind, I felt like it could be, and that bothered me. But I think I may have just adapted. I played so many gigs with it now. I just may have adapted the way that I play. I don't know, but it hasn't been a problem. There's one tip I'll give you with the Fishman though. That's kind of crazy. When you get it, I had this on 2 of them. When you get it on the microphone, there's like a tab. I don't know why it's even there. Right on the face of the microphone, there's this metal ring with a slot on either side. I think I mentioned this. If you look at my review, you'll see it. When I first demoed that pickup at home, there was a rattle. There was a rattling sound. I'm not saying this is the sound that Chris heard, but there was a rattle from the pickup. And I asked them about it, and they told me the solution. So it's in my review of the Fishman Rare Earth blend. You need to get a screwdriver or something and tighten that up. And once I tightened it up, it was absolutely fine. But they need that can work itself loose and actually start to make a noise. So do make sure if you get one of those, you make sure that's tight. I would tighten it anyway as soon as you get it, just to make sure it's not it's been installed tight enough at the factory. But that's a big thing. So I found out on 2 of those, and that is actually mentioned in the review how to fix that. But yes, no, you're right. Obviously, having a sound hole pickup in the sound hole means you might accidentally hit it with your pick. But on the flip side of that, a sound hole pickup in the sound hole especially one without a microphone, won't pick up any kind of body noise or your shirt buttons while you're playing, where something like a K&K or an Anthem will, because of they're more sensitive, they're picking up more of the body sound. So you might get other kinds of noise issues with other systems. You know, there's always something, right? And conversely, like a sound hole pickup, you're going to get way less feedback because of the nature of the pickup itself. And then with the K&K, because it's picking up the actual top of the guitar, that's why you got so much potential for all that feedback. So that's why I always ask people like how they play, what they play, where they play, those kind of questions. Michael, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Boomer says throw a thumbs up. Yes, please do. But not in the chat, but actually the button on your screen right now. You see there's a where is it? I don't even know where it is. Oh, you have to close the chat, unfortunately. You have to minimize the chat. And then there's a thumbs up here that says 13. So if you could tap that for me, I'd appreciate it. That shows how often I give people a thumbs up myself. All right. Yeah, I probably didn't give it enough time, to be fair, said Chris. Well, you know, there is that. I get it. I've had plenty of pieces of gear that I've just returned immediately because I've just got a feeling that it wouldn't work out for me. But I've also had pieces of gear that over time I adapted to, and I do feel like I actually feel like that's a massive thing with music gear. I think we get used to stuff. Like if you think about it, if you've played a Stratocaster for 30 years and then someone gives you a Telecaster, I can imagine that you probably would not like that, and you're going to say, "Oh no, this doesn't feel right." It's just human nature, right? You have to get used to stuff. Someone was asking yesterday on Facebook about, in a Facebook group, about in-ear monitors. Like they can't get used to them. PJAC, thank you very much. They can't get used to in-ear monitors and how they make them sound better. Well, the real thing is with in-ear monitors, you need to get used to them, because if you've played a tube amplifier in the room for years, and then someone hands you a pair of in-ear monitors and you stick them on, it's such a different experience that it's a shock to the senses, and you're not going to like it. But if you stick with it for a few months and you adapt to it, you may end up liking it more. And I really think there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of stuff that we like is what we're used to. The same as well, like what you're used to hearing, like what the kind of music you're used to listening to, right? John says, yes, we listen to your opinions and we often agree. I appreciate you. Well, it's nice when people do, and I like to give people my experience with stuff. Like if we play in similar venues and we've done similar things, I think it's definitely, it's like, you know, I ask people, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? But that should never be the end thing, of course, because we all have different ears. We all have different ways of playing. So that's the only point I'm trying to make with that. But of course, what I say is always right. Mike Fuller is back, partnered with Jackson Audio and Sweetwater. Very cool. Watermelon Cat, how old are you? I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give that away. You can guess if you want to, but I'm not going to tell you. Back to back country rock and oldies band says, howdy, how you doing? Good to see you. There's some gigging musicians I can see in the thumbnail. So yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day, the whole what we like what we used to kind of thing. It really is true. If you play an acoustic guitar that has a certain sound to it, I could hand you the most amazing guitar in the world, in my opinion, and you could turn around and say, "Oh, I don't." Well, you might not say you don't like it, but your ear's going to compare it to that other guitar that you're so used to hearing and playing and feeling. You know, you play a guitar with a wide neck for a long time, and I hand you a guitar with a narrower neck. You're just straight away your brain is going to say, "Well, what's this? This is alien to me," you know. Not everyone. Some people can adapt very well to different things very quickly and even enjoy that, like the differences in things, and they play to their advantage. Some people will say, if I get a guitar I'm not used to, I'll play it differently and I'll try to get the most out of that particular instrument for what it is. And that's great. But I'm not really like that. I get used to what I'm used to. I get used to what I like. And if you hand me something different, my first thought is, well, that's not what I'm used to. So sometimes I get through that and end up preferring the new thing, and sometimes I don't. But that's a bit of psychology in there. Watermelon Cat, he's younger than me, but older than Rosanna. Hey, let's not get into age now. Let's not bring Rosanna into this. All right. Not that I've got a problem with my age. I'm very happy to have survived this long. You know, I really am. And let's just say I'm glad I'm not. I often think I'm glad I'm not as young as I was sometimes, because that wasn't always the greatest thing. But anyway, Mad for it Manchester, a bit late. Thought it was 9 start. My bad. Oh, no problem. Oh, wait. Actually, yes, I didn't think of that. So the clocks. I'm in America. In case you're watching and don't know this, I'm in America, and the clocks in America went forward yesterday, which is why I'm feeling a bit jet lagged. So the clocks went forward an hour yesterday, and we lost an hour. So I guess now it's 4 p.m. We started here at 4 p.m. New York time, EST. So I guess in England right now it's earlier, right? Because your clocks haven't changed yet. So that's a good thing. I guess it's not as late for you. And speaking of clocks and time, now is a good time for me to give a quick plug to Wednesday's live stream. So on Wednesday, I'm doing a live stream with Cole Clark. I'm going to show you the flyer quickly. I have posted the event already. Please do put it on your calendar. But this is happening on Wednesday. And yes, it's a weird time. And the reason it's a weird time is because Cole Clark are in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, I'm in America, they're in Melbourne. So the thing is, it's really weird. I put it on the graphic here. Wednesday, March 13th, 7 p.m. EST, that's my time, which will actually be Thursday, March 14th at 10 a.m. Melbourne time. And I don't know what time that will be in England. Will that be 11 o'clock or midnight in England, Rosanna? I'm not sure. Can you work it out for me? Well, when we were trying to plan this with Cole Clark, we were kind of arguing about what time that's going to be. So it's always a fear when you do a live stream like that, because there's always this fear that you'll log in and the other person won't be on the end of the line because someone got the wrong time, you know. So this is Paul Gale, and not many people know Paul Gale. But Paul Gale joined Cole Clark later on, and he is into the technical side of things. So when you see the PG3 preamp, which is their latest preamp in the guitars, PG3 is basically Paul Gale. So Paul Gale didn't make that from scratch. He re-engineered the original version. And in my opinion, it's even better now. I really like the newest version of that preamp. He's also helped to develop the humbucker that goes in their hybrid guitars, because the original humbuckers obviously had a strong B and E string, because they're not coated strings. They're louder than the other strings. So he developed a system, a way to wind pickups with acoustic strings, 4 acoustic strings, that will not have that issue. And indeed, he did fix it. And they've got a patent on that now as well, I believe. So not many people have seen Paul Gale. Not many people have spoken to Paul Gale. We've had Miles, who was the CEO, on the channel before. And I think he's been on twice. He's a good guy. But Paul Gale is behind a lot of the technologies there, and he has not been on yet. So I'm personally really excited for this one, because I play the guitar that he's developed, right? The guitar I play right now has both of those technologies in the guitar. And also I'm told we can ask any questions we like, or should I say I can ask any questions I like, or hopefully there'll be some other people asking questions as well. So hopefully there'll be other people asking questions, but we can ask anything. One of those questions is going to be about stainless steel frets on acoustic guitars, and I believe he's not into that, so we might have some arguments as well on Wednesday. But this will be fun because this is just going to be the player of the instruments talking to the creator of the instruments and questioning everything about them, basically, which I think will be awesome. I'm personally excited. You can probably tell that. So Paul Gale, Cole Clark Guitars, interview and Q&A, this Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST. If you can make it, please do. If you can't, there'll be a replay. You can watch the replay the next day or as soon as it finishes. So do check it out. I think they're a great company. I think they're a very underrated company, personally. I think that'll be a good one. And I quite like the time. I'm kind of glad that it's 7 o'clock at night. It'd be quite nice to do an evening chat rather than always being on in the afternoon, you know. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure. All right, let me take this off. So yeah, please do write that down. Please do join us if you can. Would appreciate it. Always get nervous when I do these live streams with Australia because the guest is so far away. I mean, they're in another time. They're not they're not just in another time zone. They're in another place. They're in another day, right? It always blows my mind that it'll be Wednesday where I am and Thursday where the guest is. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, let me come back to the comments. John says, of course, you're always right, as am I. That's right, we're all right all the time. Watermelon Cat, do you like watermelons? I don't. They're not my favorite. Are watermelons a fruit? If they're a fruit, then I do like other fruits, but not watermelons necessarily. I don't know if I've even tried one, actually. He's young. Thank you, back to back. I appreciate that. All this stuff is relative, though, right? Nick Johnson, I think what made me more open-minded with new technologies in the guitar world is playing out in different venues and having a desire for convenience for me and sound. Yeah, convenience is a big one. John's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, John. That's awesome. Not dying is pretty cool, but in exchange, you have to get older. Well, like I said earlier about the pickups, there's always a plus and a minus to everything in this life, right? And even that, and especially in guitar equipment. Pick and Mix Diary, how you doing? It's long in the tooth now, but it's long in the tooth now, I know, but I bought a used Bags M80 recently and was still pleasantly surprised. I should try the Rare Earth blend though. Yeah, the M80 is good. I never liked the color of it. It kind of really stands out. All the older Bag stuff was like this yellow design, and that was by design to make it visual. Like when you saw those pickups, like the Anthem and the M80, you knew it was an LR Baggs product. But now they're moving more to like subtle stuff, which I think is a good move. There was a version of the M80 that was black, I think. Maybe it was made for Takamine, that was more subtle. But the pickup is good. The M80 got around that by basically removing the B and E poles on the magnetic pickup, and it's a good system. It's also, what I like about that one is that it picks up the top of the guitar, which gives it a more natural sound. But the Fishman one is smaller, lighter. It's black. You don't really see it. It's got a gooseneck microphone. For me, it's more natural. It may not be as cutting though, like I said earlier, but it is, for me, it always surprises me and amazes me how natural sounding that Rare Earth blend is, and that's why I recommend it to certain people. So John, are you getting any guitar-related birthday presents? There's a question. Rosanna says Wednesday's stream will be 11 p.m. UK time. Okay. Well, if you can't make it for that one, I understand, because it's, there's no good time to do a live stream, right? Sometimes you do one at 4 in the afternoon, and someone in Australia says, well, that's a really bad time for me, and you'll do one in the morning, and that's a bad time for people in America, and there's just I I don't mind when I do them anymore, because there'll be that one person that's so grateful you did it at that time, and there'll always be a bunch of people that said they couldn't make it, they had to work, or they were in bed or asleep or whatever. So that's just the way it is with the whole live streaming thing. There you go. You see, Back to Back has a rehearsal Wednesday night. We'll catch the replay. That's awesome. Do you play any video games? You know, I haven't for a long time, because like I said earlier, like when I got time, I need to make videos. Like this video did really well last week, this pod one. So this worked out nicely. Oh, thank you. This is great. Look, Timothy Dirth, appreciate it. This pedal actually got me a lot of subscribers this week. And I was laughing about it because my channel is kind of based around acoustic guitar content. But whenever I do anything electric guitar, it gets way more views. Unfortunately, acoustic guitar fans, the electric guitar is still more popular, at least on YouTube, right? So this worked out really well because it came out of nowhere. I had no idea they were releasing this. I need something like this for my Cole Clark guitar, actually. And so I got this from Sweetwater. I paid for next day shipping, and I made a video that next day knowing that it'd be a popular product because it's an affordable electric guitar pedal. And it did really well. So thanks for watching that one. And I've been using it. It's working well, but I'm still dialing it in. So give me another week or two before I give my sort of final verdict. But I really liked it in that video. In the video review with the electric guitar, I'm very happy. With the acoustic guitar, it's different because you've got an acoustic guitar strings. I find that a bit harder to dial in anyway because I have more expectations from that guitar, which I'll probably never meet. That, you know, the Cole Clark will never sound like a Strat because it's not, right? But I'm trying to get it to sound as good as I can based on what it is. Oh, Matt says, any ideas for replacing a non-functioning Fishman Ibanez SST onboard preamp? Well, the first thing I would do is I would look for another one. I would contact Fishman and Ibanez and see if they have any spare ones lying around. I would personally rather put the original one back in the guitar again. And then the next thing I would do is I'd go on all the sites, Reverb, eBay, and look for someone that's selling that preamp to see if you can find one to drop in as a replacement. And then, if you absolutely cannot replace and fix that, or if you maybe don't want to, but if you like it, I should have said that. If you like the system, I would contact the company to get a replacement. Then I'd contact the vendor Fishman. Then I would check eBay and Reverb to look for a used one. Maybe someone's selling one as a spare. And then if I have no luck with any of that, and I am forced to replace it completely, well, the first thing I would do then is to see if there's another system that is a drop-in replacement. It's very unlikely. But some of those preamps that are built into the factory just simply cannot be reused at all because they are built into the guitar. And some of them can. Some of them leave a small hole that you could enlarge to put a different system in. A system with a large cutout is obviously harder to make smaller. Can be done, but it's a lot harder. So then it's really up to you. Do you want to leave that in there but add, say, an Anthem or the sound hole pickup we were just talking about? Or do you want to take that out and use it as a sound port? It really depends on what that is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to open the window because I've got to open the window and it's really hot in here and I'm falling asleep. So I'll be back in 1 minute. Hang on.
I need a holiday is what she said to me. I need to get away from you. And as I watched her lying next to me, I wished for a holiday too. Home is where the heart is. Home is where...
Okay, that's better. Apologies. So Fishman Ibanez SST. Let me see if I can find it. Fishman Ibanez SST preamp. Can't think what that looks like right now. Ah, yes. So let me know if I'm right. Is it this one? Well, here you go. Look, I found it. I found one on Reverb. So, oh, this one's sold, but I'm sure you could find another one. So the question really is, first of all, is this the system? Is this the system that you're looking to replace? And then the next question is, do you like how it sounds? Because this is going to be really hard to, what are you going to do? This is why a lot of people don't buy guitars with onboard systems, because you've got a cutout for both of these panels here. Rather large cutouts as well. So, yeah, definitely. If you like the system, find one like this on Reverb and just replace it. If you don't like the system and you want to change it, then either take it out and have the holes, fill in. Either take it out, leave the holes. They could be sound ports, or take it out, have someone fill in the holes for cosmetic reasons, or leave it in there. Maybe just take out the undersaddle pickup and install another system like the Anthem SL or the Soundhole pickup we showed earlier. That's a tough one. It's always tough when you have a guitar with a built-in system. It's always tough. Some people would say actually, like, just install a K&K and then leave this one in there. Use this one for the tuner and have the K&K, passive K&K. I mean, yeah, you could do that. There's a lot of options you can do. A lot of decisions you've got to make when you're in this situation, unfortunately. But if I liked how this sounded, if I was happy with this, I would just look for a replacement part online for sure. All right. Sorry, I can't really help with that. That's a tough one. William L. Cole Clark versus Maton. That's a really tough one. To summarize that, in general, I feel like I like the feel of the neck on the Cole Clark, and that's important to me. Acoustically, in general, again, because all guitars sound different, there's many different guitars within each brand. But in general, based on what I've played, I like the unplugged sound of the Maton. It's more of a conventional Martin style sound. The Cole Clark sound is that they're constructed so differently to the traditional guitars, and for a reason. And I'm not going to say they sound bad, but they don't sound like those traditional guitars, if that's what you're trying to compare to. So acoustically, I do like the Matons. I also like the Matons because they have stainless steel frets on one of the models, where Cole Clark, as far as I can see, will not do that ever. But only on one of the models for Maton, to be fair. Pickup, I mean, it's tough. I'm going to give that to Cole Clark because they have 3 pickups in the guitar where Maton have 2. But the Maton system is no slouch. It's got that same kind of undersaddle pickup and a big gooseneck microphone, where the Cole Clark has a much smaller microphone. Doesn't really do that much, but it has that amazing body sensor. So I really, honestly, I put them kind of level. I mean, I've got 2 Matons. I'm probably going to sell one and keep the one with the stainless steel frets. And I've got a bunch of Cole Clarks. So I guess that answers your question. I prefer the Cole Clarks. But I really put them on a level playing field. They both play great. They both have great systems. Yeah, if I was going to plug in less, I'd probably go for the Maton. If I was going to plug in more, I'd probably go for the Cole Clark. But they both are, depending on the guitar you get, they're both great for different reasons. Maton seem to do those kind of open pore necks, which I've said before I don't like because I'm used to them not being that way on the Martins, but that's just the way they like to do it. But the Cole Clark necks are filled in and feel very smooth, so I do like that. So yeah, when I play out the Cole Clark for me, but I like the Maton plugged in as well. It sounds great as well. That could be a good video in the future, I think. Rosanna says, happy birthday for tomorrow. John Washburn. Very cool. Yeah, happy birthday. If it was your birthday now, I'd sing happy birthday, but I don't want to jinx it. Boomer said you could do a live stream and do a premiere of the broadcast later with a live audience. Let me just think about that. You could do a live stream and do a premiere of the broadcast later. Well, I did think about recording, because these live streams are pretty hairy sometimes, because you don't know if you'll get technical problems. You don't know if you have to deal with trolls. You don't know. There's a lot of things you have to bear in mind with a live stream, because you're live, right? None of that stuff really matters, because I record everything anyway. So I could always take the recording, edit it, and re-upload it if there's ever a problem like that. I did think about doing the Cole Clark one recorded, because I haven't spoken to Paul Gale before. It's from Australia, and it's a weird time. But on the other hand, I like the live stream spontaneous thing with the live questions, which you wouldn't get if you pre-recorded it and did it as a premiere. So that's why I'm going to do it as a live stream. And like I said, there's for every person that can't make it on Wednesday because of the time where they are, there'll be someone that can make it on Wednesday because of the time where they are. So that's good. Lots of birthdays for John. Do you like my profile picture? Well, I like cats, so I guess I do. Have you got any guitar related questions, Watermelon Cat? John said, no guitars or gear unless I buy it. My heart remains young and nothing else matters. 68 and counting. Great attitude. Matt Martinez says yes. Yes. Oh, that's the one. So you tell me. I'm interested to know what you think about this. What are you going to do? So do you like how that preamp sounds? I've never tried one. I've never seen one before. So do you like the sound of it? That's the real question here. I had something similar to this happen to me this week, because I told you last week I found the Wonderwall guitar, and I did. I think I also may have told you that the preamp is broken. So the preamp works. There's a button on the preamp to bypass the EQ, and when you bypass the EQ block section, it works. So it does technically work, but when you engage the EQ for your treble bass, it doesn't work anymore. There's no sound, so it's defective. So I did some research, and the thing with Takamine is they have this block in the guitar where like a hole with a plastic ring where the preamp sits. So with most of their guitars, you can easily just remove that preamp and install a new one. You can buy a new one. But it's such an old model, I'm not sure if the newer preamps will fit. That's the first question. That's the first potential issue. And then I found this is a common problem. And I found someone that will actually repair it for a fee and get it back to working order. So I could pay someone to fix it. Now the reason I'm telling you this is you may find the same thing. You may find that if you research online, there's another system that will drop in, or you may be able to find another one of these, or you may find, like I couldn't believe I found this guy on the internet that will fix the exact problem I have. So you might find someone that does that too. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to return the guitar because I'm not going to spend, it was good money for that used guitar. And I don't think I should have to then spend another over $100 just to get it into working order where it should be working in the first place. So I'm gonna send it back. But I'm just telling you that because that's just basically the same issue, right? Built-in electronics, they fail. What do you do? So you might find someone. I couldn't believe it when I Googled mine. I couldn't believe it. I found someone that would actually fix it. So this might just be a common problem. And there might be someone that's willing to fix it for a small fee, or you might be able to find another one that works and just drop it in, which will be a lot easier. But yeah, let us know. I'm curious to know what you would do, what you're going to do with that. Joe said, "Did you get a chance to try the new Line 6 Express with an acoustic yet?" I didn't. I almost did it yesterday because someone, maybe it was you, asked me to do it. But the thing is, I don't see a lot of value in it. I don't see a lot of value in it because once you turn off the amp and the cab, there's no EQ, and what are you left with? The reverb, the delay, tap delay, and the mods. I'm not even going to use the mods. I wish the mods was something else, because I'm not actually going to use them. But I don't. Oh, I guess there is value there for 175 to have a reverb and a delay, but I wish they'd made an acoustic version of this, maybe with acoustic IRs on it instead, and different effects, and rather than distortion, they could have put like an EQ or a notch there. I think they should have made an acoustic version for sure. But that's not to say you can't use it for that. If you own one for electric and you want to use it now and again on your acoustic, yes, of course you can. And you're asking me, have I tried it? No, I haven't. You want to know if it colors the sound? I'm not sure. But I'm sure I will test that maybe this week at some point. So yeah, no, the answer is no. I spent all day yesterday with it because I was dialing it in for the electric pickup. I didn't even plug the acoustic into it. I just was going through the humbucker on the Cole Clark. All right. I have bought a guitar currently learning. Do you have any tips? I mean, just keep practicing. Start with the basics. Don't go too fast. I had a student a couple of years ago that wanted to go straight in with a really difficult song. And I had to say, look, I understand that's going to make you excited. I understand that's going to keep you practicing. But it's like someone that can't drive and you show them how to drive the car to a certain location, but you don't teach them any of the theory or rules of the road around. It's not going to work, right? Yes, they can do it. They can get in. They can start the car. They can know where they're going and head that way, but they need to know the rules of the road. They need to know all that other stuff as well. So, look at some theory, look at some timing, lessons in time, learn how to tune the guitar. Learn all the basics first. Don't try and go too quick, is what I would say. Joe says, did he get a chance? Oh, no, sorry, I had that one already. Oh, you asked me twice, that's why. No, I will try it. Someone else asked me about the headphone out. I will try all that. One thing I noticed that annoyed me a little bit is that there's only one clean sound, but there's the special amp, which is like a Dumble. So I thought I could use that as a clean by turning the gain down. But when I turn the gain down and turn the volume up of the overall signal, there's a hum. Well, that hum is in the amp, but that hum on a Helix can be taken away. There's a control on the Helix called the hum control, and I always put that to 0. There's another one too, I can't think what it's called. There's the hum and there's something else. I always put them to 0 and it takes away all the noise. Well, they left that on in this pedal and you can't turn it off. I don't know why they would do that. So now you can't use the clean. You can't use a low gain on that amp as a clean like you can on the Helix, because on the Helix, you turn the gain down, you turn the level of that whole thing up, and you turn those hum sounds off, and you've got another clean. But this thing, you can't do that because there's no way to access those parameters. So you only really have one clean sound. It's a good clean sound, but bear that in mind. I mean, to be fair, yeah, you have one clean, you have one. Well, no, I guess like with the heavy gain, you've got lead, heavy, crunch. But with the clean, there is only one clean sound, as far as I can tell, unless I'm missing something. So that just comes back down to the whole limitations of having a device like this. And in my review, I said it's nice to have those limitations because you can't deep tweak it. But then again, the fact you can't deep tweak it means you can't deep tweak it, right? So that's brings us back to the start of the stream where we said not everything's all good, not everything's all bad. John says, I thank you all. It'll be glorious. Maybe a new birthday suit. So no guitars. Oh. Matt says, was going to replace it with the High Vibe system. Okay. I don't think it's out yet, is it? It's pricey and smaller mounting holes. Best on Amazon looks... T-Best on Amazon looks close, but can't confirm the size of the holes. Yeah, some people that do that will actually fill in around the edge of it with a piece of wood. And you have to as well to mount the new one into it. It's tough. I like the idea of leaving it empty as a sound port. I would, if the preamp's in the top of the guitar, I would just take it out, clean it up, and leave that hole so you can hear more of the guitar sound coming through, and install a different pickup like the Anthem. Like I said, that's why, at the end of the day, that's why Martin moved away from the F1 Aura system, because it has those holes in the guitar. And if you ever take that out, you'll have the holes in the guitar. Same with Taylor. Every Taylor has those holes in the guitar. They will say, well, we do that on purpose, and if we have a new version, we're still going to use those controls, the same 3 controls, whatever we do. Okay, fair enough. But if for some reason they decided to move away from controls completely into some other like floor-mounted box or an app-based system, then you're always going to have those holes in the guitar. I've always said it doesn't bother me, but that's only because I've never had to deal with a guitar with a dead pickup like that. I think that would bother me. So it's tough. Then again, the Maitons have that too. The Cole Clarks have that too. But I think they're always going to have that style of system on the guitar. And there's a lot of reasons to have that in the guitar, because the controls are at your fingertips. That right, you can change them on the fly, which I think is very important. All right. Well, it's already gone an hour. I can't believe it. It's an hour and 10 minutes already. Crazy. So let me know if there's any last questions. If not, I'm going to wrap things up, because I've got lots of stuff to get on with this week, including that guitar that I'm sending back, the Wonderwall guitar. And of course, I do want to try and play Wonderwall on it before or at least the 4 chords before I send it back. And that's going back to Sam Ash. And the news about Sam Ash is crazy. Sam Ash are closing half of their stores, and that includes the Manhattan store and the Queen store. In fact, I think maybe, is it both of the Queen stores? That's crazy. So hopefully they go online. Hopefully they get a bit. Their website isn't the best in the industry, so hopefully they get a better website and just keep selling online. I don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy, right? It really is crazy. You always hearing about Guitar Center might close, which would be crazy if that ever happened. Sam Ash are closing half of their stores. Sweetwater are expanding, and I mean, good reason. I think Sweetwater are great. I really do. But it's nice to have stores to go to. Admittedly, you don't always have the best experience in a store, and I think that's a real shame. But when you do, there's nothing like it, of course. It's real, right? It's like the difference between watching a gig online and going to a gig in person. So interesting times we're living through, and we'll see what happens with all that down the line. All right. So I'm going to wrap things up. If you're new here, do me a favor, subscribe and ring the bell. I really would appreciate it. Again, once more, Wednesday, if you're available, Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST. I know it's going to be really hard to figure these times out, but basically, we started today at 4. Wednesdays will start 3 hours later, so that might help you if you're watching today. Really hope you can make it, and if you can't make it, I really hope that you can watch the replay of that. Once again, if you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. Please watch out for any videos that I post in the next couple of weeks. I've got some collaborations with some companies coming up, and be great if you could watch them, leave a comment, and share them. That would really help me a lot. I'll just go through the last comments I got here before I go. Matt, what do you think about Tiptronic nails versus acrylic versus gel versus fingerpicks? Actually, I want to ask you lot about slide. I want to get a slide. What slide would you recommend? I want something lightweight I can just throw on for like one song. But anyway, what do you think about Tiptronic? So I once had a nail put on this finger because I had to do fingerstyle for a wedding or something, and I'd practiced so much that the fingernail was destroyed. So I did the acrylic nail, and I really liked it. I even ended up using it as a pick. You kind of strum like this with the nail. But then they chip and they break and they fall off and they make a mess, and you've got to go and have it done again, blah, blah, blah. So what I try to do now is I try to just keep the nails as healthy as I possibly can. Oh, this is interesting. Look, did you start early tonight? No, I started on time because are people now joining because the clocks went forward yesterday in America. So right, so people, okay, I get it. Some people around the world may now be joining now or at 5 because the clock's changed in America. Wow, that's so annoying and so confusing. Now we got, okay. I'm going to keep going then because it looks like we've got people now joining the stream. So I'll go for a bit longer. So don't leave. Don't leave. All right. Yeah, this stuff is so annoying. Like, it messed up my body. The clock's changing. It messes up everything. I remember years ago when I lived in England, I had a gig and it was a duo gig and the other guitar player showed up. And I was actually, our friend talking about video games. I was playing video games in the apartment, or flat as you call it back there. And so I'm playing, and he's saying to me, "Shouldn't we go?" Like he got literally the clock struck the time we're supposed to start playing on stage, and he says to me, "Shouldn't we go?" But yeah, but bearing in mind that is the time we're supposed to be actually playing on stage when he said that, and I was like, "No, the clock's changed. We've got another hour." I never forget that. It was so funny. That was a long time ago. But that was funny. But this is the sort of problem you have when the clocks change. Oh my goodness me, it's so annoying. Okay, it's brighter outside, which is great. The sun is still out, but it just messes everything up, doesn't it? Including this live stream. So anyway, yeah. So the nails, I haven't tried them all. I've tried the fake nail on this index finger. I really liked it, but I didn't want to maintain it. My nails are actually in a bad way right now, but I just try to ride it. I use a pick 95% of the time, 90% of the time. So I just try and ride it out and hope they grow back quickly for when I need them. But you should definitely experiment with them. If you play a lot of fingerstyle, it's a no-brainer. Like James Taylor couldn't do what he does without those nails, those acrylic nails he gets. So definitely look into it. But personally, I just like the whole. Because I use a pick all the time. I don't personally see the need. Even if I am playing fingerstyle and my nails are destroyed, I can still play the kind of music that I play because it's not very demanding. I do Blackbird and Landslide and that kind of stuff. So I can just use the flesh of the fingers. And an interesting thing, I asked Tommy Emmanuel about this. You'd think that Tommy Emmanuel would have amazing nails or fake nails, the way he attacks the guitar and the sound he gets and the way he plays, obviously. But he actually has no nails. He's just built up massive calluses on each of these fingers, and he uses that. That's incredible. He also uses a thumb pick, of course, but the actual pads themselves are just calluses. And again, if you're watching, let me know, do you use acrylic nails or finger picks, etc.? That'd be good to know. Back-to-back country rock and oldies band says Sheeran Looper Plus. Is it as easy to use as it seems? Can you use 2 mics with it? No and no. No, I mean no, that's not fair. No, you can't use 2 mics with it. It's got 2 inputs. I'm actually going to return it as well because I say as well. Well, the guitar is broken. The Looper Plus isn't broken. The Looper Plus is a good looper. But as I noted in my live stream with it, it's not really 2 tracks. It's more like a track and a faux track because you have to use the second pedal that you attach to it to mute the track. It's just all a bit fiddly for me to get the most out of it. You have to use another MIDI controller. I still think, and I hate to say this, I feel bad saying this, but I really still think that the Boss RC500 is the best looper in that format. I just hate the interface and the screen on it. But you get so much more. You get the 3-foot switches. You get the drums that are very usable. You get way more customization options. But definitely, for me, the 500 is still the better option. The Looper Plus is a nice pedal. I think it could be really great with some firmware updates. But they also kind of annoyed me. I almost swore. They kind of annoyed me. That company, because a few days after the loopers were released, a guy that's been working with them, Carl, did a video and said, "Oh, I was annoyed with the loopers too, but there's a new firmware update coming soon that made me very happy, and I helped them to develop it." And I just I'm sorry, that firmware should have been on there when they ship it. I really hate the idea. Here we go. Great. Time for a rant. It really annoys me lately the way that these pedals and these products release without the full firmware. And either the customer is sitting there thinking to themselves, well, that may come out, and I'll put it in the closet and wait for that firmware to come. Lately, the companies are saying it is coming, which is good. It's good that it's coming, but we don't know when. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year. To me, that's almost worse, because they're saying, we know we released a product that isn't ready for prime time, but we are going to fix it soon. And I hate that thing of soon, because soon can really mean absolute. Soon usually doesn't mean soon at all. Soon is kind of a joke now. Soon now means like a long time away. So I know tomorrow we might get that update, but I know I am not willing to spend hundreds of dollars on something that isn't as I need it to be day one. Now, I'm not knocking it. It's good. It's a decent looper. It's great hardware. The software isn't bad for a day one release, but that's only based on the fact that day one releases are often terrible. And this is all falling apart. This shouldn't be like this. It really rubbed me the wrong way when the guy said, there is new firmware coming soon. Like, why didn't you wait and release these pedals with that firmware? Because that's the firmware that our money is supposed to be buying on that device, not an early version that's not yet fully baked. And then we have to wait for that version. And by the time that version comes out, we're going to have missed the return policy, the return period to return it. So don't get me wrong, it's good that we get new firmware. You could argue they don't need to put new firmware on devices at all, and we should be grateful to get these firmware updates. Yes, true. It's a good thing. Firmware can be a great thing. And many devices, including iPhones and Macs, get better over the course of their life because of firmware. It's a good thing. But when you release a new product, and you've obviously waited to release it anyway, because it didn't come out at NAMM, it came out a month after the NAMM show. So why not just wait another month and then release it with those firmwares on it? So I could go live and say, hey everyone, this is incredible, you've got to buy one. Rather than, it's really good, I like it, it's fun, it's well made, but there's a few things that I don't really like, so I think I better return it while I can. And then if the firmware comes out and I hear it's really good, then I might get it again. I'll see. It's just not fun. Rant over. All right. But no, you cannot use two mics with it. It's a single guitar and a single mic. Oh no, sorry. Sorry, I'm telling you the wrong thing. I think you mean a guitar and two mics. But two mics and no guitar. Yes, you can. Let's see. Let me double check before I tell you the wrong thing. And look, someone else has returned theirs as well. Unless that's the one they used on their demo video, of course. Possible. If you look on the back. Oh no, that's right. You can't. Okay. One mic, well, one combo input. So that means you could put an instrument, you could do guitar, and then mic, you could do another guitar or mic, because it's a combo. It's a combo jack. The input is stereo, so you could do keyboard. So you could do keyboard and guitar, keyboard and mic, for example. But there's only those two. You can't have more than that. So worth bearing that in mind. It's also pretty heavy, but that does mean it's substantial. The buttons are really nice. The foot switches are nice. The controls are nice. The screen is nice. There's no app, unfortunately, to change stuff, but so you've got to bend down to change stuff. That's the same with a lot of them. You know, it's good. It's good. I'm more interested in the bigger one. And they've got a demo there too. But I'm more interested in this, but it's £15. I'm not going to be able to use it at my shows. Too heavy for me to take to my shows. But this surely is more fun to mess around with at home because you've got the touchscreen, the effects, all these switches, all these tracks. But apparently there's some big firmware update coming that's going to make it way different. And I'm not comfortable recommending this until that's available. And I know what it does. And also, this screen is incredible, but why isn't there an iPad app so you can have this on the mic stand in front of you and make changes while you're doing the gig? Do you really want to bend down and press on that screen during the performance? I don't want to. So, yeah, good start, but I need to see these updates that they're saying are coming. So that wasn't me. They're the ones saying the updates are coming out soon. So show us what they do. I'm going to show you the one that I would still recommend. It's not perfect by any means, but the RC500. I don't know. I just think it's smaller, it's lighter. You've got 3 switches. Each memory slot can be a different setup of the looper. So you can have different configuration on each memory. You can name the track, which you can't do on the Sheeran. Again, same 1 mic input, stereo input, stereo output. No USB-C. I do like the USB-C on the Sheeran. It's nice. It even powers it. So this isn't perfect, but I just think it's more complete. The Boss have a habit of releasing stuff that's ready to go out of the box. And they also have a habit of then not really updating those products after they've done that. So there's the opposite problem, right? Do you want the product out of the gate to be as it should be, day one, and then just get a few bug fixes and no real updates down the line? Or do you want something bare bones day one, and in a few years down the line, you've got a completely different product in front of you? Well, I want both. I want the Boss mentality of here's a product, it's ready to go right now professionally, it's a great start, it's everything you want, it's exactly what you expect and more, and then some massive updates down the line as well to keep you interested, to keep it modern and current. Personally, that's what I think. Maybe I'm asking too much, I don't know, but these things aren't cheap, are they? So Madford Manchester should make it Wednesday, I hope so, because obviously that's also the technology in your Baton Rouge guitar as well. Information Times indeed, says John. William L. Angels and Fat Lady Wednesday. Yep. Cole Clark Wednesday. Again, don't forget. Did I start early? Well, I guess I did technically because the clocks have changed. And Lee said goodbye. But no, that was a false ending, Lee. eVerse 8 or 12. I really don't understand the eVerse 12. I love the eVerse 8. It's a great speaker. I really don't understand the point of the 12. Well, I do. It's for DJs. I was hoping it would be an eVerse 10, bit bigger than the 8, bit more power, and double the inputs. That's not what we got. We got an eVerse 12. It's more money than the 8, obviously. It's a 12-inch, but it's a big, much bigger box. So much harder to carry around. No extra inputs. So what you're really getting here is just a bigger speaker. You're getting to get more low end. I don't even need that much low end for what I do. So I think this is more for bass players and DJs. So it's pretty easy for me. I would say get the 8 every time. To a guitarist, get the 8. It's lighter, much lighter. It's cheaper. It's still got the same amount of inputs. And you don't need the bigger speaker for an acoustic guitar. Not really. So yeah, EVerse 8, that's an easy one for me to answer, unless you're a DJ, which I don't think you are. Spring forward is early in the US. Yeah. Looks like that caught some people out, unfortunately. A ceramic slide. Yeah, I gotta find a slide. That'll be a video probably. I'll probably buy a few of them and do a comparison. I've been using a beer glass. I think it looks funny, and it does, but it's obviously not the best slide. So I need to look into that. Aries, it's 9 p.m. where you are. Do you use a 1.0 pick? The pick is the one thing that I am very constant on. I've used these for years and years and years and years and years. I've got a video about them on the channel. It's the Jazz 3 XL. Don't know why I'm showing you that. I can just show you on Sweetwater. There we go. Jazz 3 XL. They do start to wear on the edges, but I just replace them. They're pretty affordable. You can see that one starting to wear at the tip there. Let me just show you on the website. Jazz 3. It's got to be the XL version, the bigger version. Here we go. See, for $5, you get 6 of them. It's not bad. They do last quite a long time. They're the XL. They're bigger. Nice to hold. I love them. I absolutely love them. I've tried some other picks last few years, but nothing compares to me. I can't. Yeah. Again, talking about things we get used to. I'm so used to these now. I just couldn't. I've tried the Martin one. That's very nice. I've tried the expensive ones. They're all the blue chips, all very nice, but there's just. The problem is I'm so used to these, and the logo acts as a grip. Some of the other ones are too shiny. They're hard to grip onto. And they're very stiff, as the name states. They're very stiff, and I need that now when I play. So definitely try. If you haven't tried these, then definitely try these. They're awesome, in my opinion. But as John said, my opinion is right, and your opinion is right as well. Hybrid picking is nice. Never got used to that pick like Tommy Emmanuel. Just use a normal pick. The thumb pick, yeah, I've tried to get used to thumb picks and I can't. I will endeavor to still try to. I do think the thumb pick is very important for that style of music, but it's very hard to get used to it. But it is important for that style to get that power in the bass. And hybrid picking is amazing, but very hard to do, but definitely worth practicing. Manfred Manchester, High Vibe have a new system coming next month. The Essential fits like the bags inside the sound hole, no cutting out, right? So they're basically doing what Cole Clark did by offering a version that isn't invasive. But there's still quite a lot of stuff in the guitar with the High Vibe, even that new version. It looks like there's still a lot of stuff you got to put in your guitar. So bear that in mind. And I've only tried the High Vibe on one guitar, but I wasn't very impressed that the software was buggy and didn't work correctly on some of the features. And none of the sounds really made me think it was worth doing. But I'd like to revisit. That was 3 years ago. I'd like to revisit it at some point. The company says, get it live and then we'll fix it. Well, that's the problem with firmware. They can now get stuff out the door and then fix it later on because they're just shipping you a computer, basically. And then they can do whatever they want to it with firmware later on. Boss come from that history of like shipping a physical pedal with the days before the internet. They would ship the pedal out, and if they didn't get it right, it was a complete disaster because you can't do anything about it. And they've still kind of got that mentality, even though they do have firmware updates now. They do. Don't get me wrong. They do some good firmware updates, but they've never been as actively releasing firmware as say Line 6, for example, right? Matt says, just started using Alaska pick finger picks. They're not particularly comfortable and have slowed me down. Tiptronics are like a real nail, but easier to move. That's cool. Okay, I never tried Tiptronics. Let me look it up. Tiptronic fingernail picks. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the time change, as I was saying earlier, really messed me up. Well, this is exciting. What is this? Wow. Who's tried these in the chat? Let me know. Revolutionary new type of finger pick that locks to your nails. Easy removed. How do they attach? This is exciting. Wow, look at that. So they're like picks that fit over your nail. Dual lock how do they stay attached? The pick locks underneath the corners of your nail. And then the picks adhere to the entire surface via our okay, they've got adhesive on them. Wow. I got to try these. So it won't come off with a quick impact, but it'll come off when you slowly release and remove them. This is nuts. Who told us about these? And why have I not heard of this before? This is amazing. This is real next level technology on here for fingernails. Higher impact strength and higher mass than natural nails, yeah. Strum with them. Remove and reuse them. Protects them. Yeah, because it'll also protect your nails. Because my nails get destroyed when I do heavy strumming. So it'll also protect them when you are, even if you don't use them. Even if you're just strumming the guitar, they'll act as fingernail protectors. This is great. Jack West. Nice website too. And the best thing about these, no firmware update required. If they don't work when you get them, they'll never work. Look, they still work if the nail's completely broken. Because that's another reason why I got the acrylic nails. It was to be able to use my nail, but also to cover the nail so it would grow back, because that nail was broken. It was completely gone. So that's why I got the acrylic. But then the acrylic nail also obviously sticks to the nail, has to grow out, it can chip. These ones are removable. So I love the idea of wearing these while I'm playing a gig, even if I don't use them, just to protect the nail so it grows back faster. I presume you could also just put one on one finger, right? This is fantastic. Whoever shared this, thank you very much. This is great. This is why I do these live streams as well, because I know usually people are asking me questions, but I also get to learn about new stuff too. Okay. They're not cheap, but you get a sample pack. $80. All 5 nails sampler. So you make sure you can get the ones that you want. So that's not bad. You know, if you go and get your nails done, you're looking at $50, right? And they're going to break off. So these are reusable. The worst thing is you got to get, if you know, you're spending more money on the sampler because you don't know exactly what fit you need. If you were there in person, obviously. Oh, 1 second. Obviously, if you were there in person and could try them on, it'd be cheaper. You just buy the ones that fit you that you need. You're going to spend more money because you're getting the sample pack with different fits, of course. But yeah, I'm going to try these. I'm going to try these. I might even reach out to them and ask if I can review them, because I actually want to try them anyway. That could be an interesting video, right? Yeah, very interesting. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to reach out to them later, and if not, I'm going to get them anyway, and I'm going to try them myself. That'd be interesting. All right, thanks for that. That's really cool. Never heard of those before, so that's great. All right, awesome. Matt just started using Alaska Pick finger picks. Oh no, I read that one already. Sorry. Thanks for the input. Says back to back country rock and oldies band. The bigger one is heavy and too much money. Don't want to bend down and change settings either. Or wait for the Voice Live 3 Extreme to come back. It's such a great pedal. It's amazing. It's not perfect. It's actually a very old pedal. And it's not perfect by any means, but it has a very good looper and very, very good vocal effects as well. So if you're not in a hurry, I would say wait. Because once these come back to market, I'm going to be pushing them. As long as I try one and it's good, as good as the old version, I'm going to be pushing it pretty hard, I think, if there's nothing else that competes. Because for me, this is still the champion. You see, it's cheaper than the Big Sheeran. It's way lighter than the Big Sheeran. Way, 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 way lighter. This weighs £5, £10 lighter. Yes, it's not a 4-track looper. It hasn't got a touchscreen, but it's got 3 tracks of looping. It's got a mic input, a guitar input, auxiliary input as well. So I actually connect the other guitar via this through the auxiliary input. That's why I use that one. And it's got the vocal effects that are incredibly good and some other features that I rely on now as well, like in-ear monitoring and click tracks. So if you can wait, I wish these were out now. I really want to push this product, but I'm not going to do it while you can't buy it. So I think we're already in March, right? I think we should be seeing these by June. That's only 3 months away, but I can't tell you that for sure. So if you can wait, I think a singer-guitarist is much better getting something like this, especially if they want something light. If not, if you just want a looper, a very good looper, I still think the RC500 is probably the way to go. And if you need multiple tracks on a looper, probably the RC600, but some people find that very confusing from what I've read online. I know you reviewed the Yamaha FG3, getting ready to pull the plug on one. Do you think it's still a great guitar for the money with all the guitar? Oh, I just keep hearing about these guitars all the time. They've become one of the most popular guitars in America. I think anything Yamaha is great value for money. I really do. And I do think they are great guitars, yeah. I just didn't, I just wanted my Dreadnought to be a Martin because I'm a snob, that's all. But they're great guitars. And the one with the one with the pickup is very good too. If you want to pick up on your guitar, we've been talking today about pickups in guitars. It's a very good system. So if you don't ever plug in your acoustic guitar, don't get the pickup. You'll save some money, you'll save some weight. You'll avoid that issue down the line of having a pickup that's not repairable. But I mean, look at this thing. The first piece of good news is there's currently 5 in stock at Sweetwater. A year ago, these were sold out everywhere because of the post-pandemic stuff, right? But now we got 5 of these. One of them here is incredibly light. I would get this one. That's amazing. £4, 2 ounces. Look at that price. It's almost unbelievable. $880. What the heck? You've got to be kidding me. Solid top, solid back and sides. Gig bag, okay, but it's a very, very good gig bag, to be fair. Just great. Absolutely great. You can get the 5, which is made in Japan, same materials, but made in Japan. A few different things like the bone nut and saddle, maybe, but I had one of these. I thought it sounded great, even without the bone nut and saddle. I really did. I had the 5 briefly, had a problem, had to go back to Guitar Center. That was years ago when they first came out. That was a great guitar. When I got the 3 version, it was just as good, honestly. It was just, I never could have told you the difference. Again, it's that, some of it is that sort of snobbery thing, And if you really want the bone nut and saddle, you can buy them later on. I also didn't like the pick guard on the 5 because it's got like a texture to it. But apparently I've now discovered you can peel that off. It's actually stuck on. You peel it off, it's like this one. So if you really want the hard case, the bone nut and saddle, and the pick guard with the texture to it that you can still peel off and have like this, yeah, maybe spend the extra money and get the 5. You won't regret it. But if you want to get an amazing guitar under $1,000, a Dreadnought at least, I mean, you can't really go wrong with this. Yeah, there's no pickup in this one. If you want to spend a bit more money, this is a great pick. They haven't got these right now, but the Atmosphere is a great system. Very minimal. If you ever need to take that out in 20 years' time, at least you've only got very small holes in the guitar. Great system. Still only $1,100. But yeah, if you don't plug in and you want to get a crazy deal on a Dreadnought, a mahogany Dreadnought, then the FG3 is definitely a great option. Yep. Very, very cool. Chris Sean, the Boss 505 Mark II and 600 came out with all kinds of bugs. Really? I didn't know that. I think it took 3 updates to sort it out. I guess the 600 had some bugs too, to be fair. Yeah, you said the 600. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the Headrush, the Sheeran loopers don't necessarily have bugs. But the features, they're saying that there's more features coming. I don't understand why they would say there's features. I mean, to me, features are a big selling point. That they should be there day one, or at least tell us right now what they're going to be. Like, give us the release notes or whatever. For me, it's just that thing of not knowing. But no, you're right. I remember that when the 600 came out, there were loads of complaints of bugs with the 600. So there you go. That came out too soon as well. But it had all the features, I think, in there from day one. It just had a lot of bugs. With the Sheeran ones, though, they're actually missing features that people want, and they're saying, well, they're coming soon. So I know that none of this is perfect. You know, the Aeros looper. Oh man, that was missing so many things for years, and I hung on to mine for a long time. I was going to make a review. I actually got mine. I think I bought mine from the company. I got a discount because I was going to review it. And it was missing all of these features. So what I did with that, I did exactly what I said earlier. I put it in the closet behind me. I left it there for a couple of years. And it just got to the point where I was like, I can't wait any longer. This is crazy. Like, it's in there. I did spend money on it. I'm not using it. I need that money. And I sold it. And then I guarantee you what happened to literally 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they released a massive update with loads of features in it. But that was years later. I literally got to the point where I just couldn't wait any longer. So now, of course, now I'd like to try one again, but I don't want to buy one again and then lose money again. It's just a mess. I'm not really criticizing. Yes, they've all had bugs. They've all missed features. They've all released bug fixes. They've all released features. Okay, it does happen in the end, but it's a mess. It's messy. I don't like how messy it is. Like, give us something that we can just use that works and has the features that you intended it to. Of course, down the line, you can add some more stuff, and you should, and most companies will do that. But to say after one day there's a big update coming with the features that doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense to me, and it's not fair for those people that have that return policy. Because then if you release that 2 days before the return policy, then you've got to decide if it actually is what you want. It's just stressful, you know. It's messy and stressful. That's all. All floorboard multi-effects processors should be controlled. Yes, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Let's read this again. All floorboard multi-effects processors should be controllable via smartphone or tablet computer mounted to a mic stand like the Firehawk. So Line 6 did this with the Firehawk. Why are they not doing it with all the other products? I totally agree. Like, I love the Quad Cortex. It's crazy there's no app for it when it's so modern. It's crazy there's no app for all these things. It's nuts. And there's one for the Kempers. The Kemper has one for the phone, the Android, the Apple, and the iPad, the tablet. And that's an old product, but even this Pod Express should have one. They should all have one. because the proof is in the name. Floorboard, right? Okay, it's time. You get 2 today. All floorboard multi-effects processors should be controllable via smartphone or tablet computer mounted to a mic stand like the Line 6 Firehawk, or even just on a table, because the proof is in the name. Floorboard multi-effects processor. It's on the floor. How are you supposed to change stuff with a pedal on the floor? Well, it means you've got to get down on the floor. Now, some people might be okay with that. Some people might have a problem actually doing that. I don't. If I'm playing guitar and singing and I've got to make a change, I can't just get on the floor and make a change. Okay, you'll say, well, in the old days, we did that with our Boss pedals and everything. Yes, you can do it. Okay, fair enough. But with the technology we have available today, doesn't it make sense to have an iPad on your mic stand while you're playing a gig and you need to raise the reverb and you just put your hand out, turn that reverb up and go back to playing the guitar, rather than stop playing, get on your knees, load up that parameter? It just makes so much more sense. Heck, why have the touchscreen on these pedals at all? Why do they even have these touchscreens? Just have a nice display that shows us the information and have that touchscreen as an app in the iPad so we have it at our fingertips, not at our feet. Because then you've got this really nice technology, as in the touch screen, on the floor by your feet. Well, I'd never put an iPad on the floor, so why would you put a touchscreen on the floor on a pedal? At the very least, have both. Have the touchscreen on the device, a simple, robust one that you can use on the fly, but also the app that Bluetooth to it from a phone or a tablet to make the changes while you're standing up. It just seems so obvious to me. And the fact that we still have products coming out that don't have that is just nuts. Like the new Sheeran Looper. Beautiful touchscreen. Okay, fine, keep it on there. It's nice. But also put it on an app. You've already got the interface. It's all done. You've got the graphics. You've got the interface. Put that on an iPad app. I know it costs more money in R&D, but it just makes the whole experience so much better. So definitely. And even this new Pod Express, I was using it the other day and I wanted to make a change. I just didn't want to bend down and make the changes, especially on this one, because you don't really see what the old parameter was. You have to turn the dial till it goes green. Some of these options you have to press Alt and hold down the tap button and turn the dial. Well, look, do you want to be doing this on the floor while your guitar's around your neck? No. You want to reach to the phone, go to that setting, turn up the treble, hit save, and continue playing. And you could even do that while a loop is playing so no one even realizes what you're doing. Why are companies not putting apps on all modern products? Come on, it's time. Maybe not acoustic guitars. Maybe. Although you could argue that too, but on a multi-effects pedal on the floor that has a screen on it, that should be reflected and mirrored on an iPad. It just makes total sense. So thanks for bringing that up. Bill's Studio. Just pick up the Bose S1 Pro Plus. Awesome. Tried recording onto Logic on iPad with Livestream. For some reason, the guitar track records the metronome and drum tracks with the guitar track. I don't know. First of all, have you updated the firmware via the Bose Updater, the latest firmware? That's the first thing. When you record... Oh, Logic on iPad. Oh, wow. So you're plugging the S1 Pro into using that as an interface... It shouldn't do. It should just record what you're plugging into the S1 Pro. So it should record, if you just got guitar in there, it should record the guitar on it by itself. Make sure you've got the latest firmware on there, on the Bose S1 Pro and the latest version of Logic. And then you're going to have to look at this. If it's still happening, it's something to do with the settings. Or maybe the settings of the Bose S1. If you go into the user guide of the S1 Pro Plus and look at that part of the user guide, there may be an option in the settings of the S1 Pro Plus with what is actually recorded on that track. And if not, it's something to do with Logic. But I haven't used them together, so I can't really help you. But you should definitely be able to record it by itself. Let me know if you need more help with that, Bill. I inserted the Pod Express on channel 1 with one. That's great. That's cool. That's cool. You can't power it, unfortunately, from the USB port on this one. But yeah, so that's cool. So you connected this as an effects loop, so you can still use the wireless. That's good. Very cool. Can you teach me a G chord? Sure. Here you go. Take your guitar. Put your fingers like this. Middle finger on the fattest string on the 3rd fret. Pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the next string, the A string. Leave the next 2 strings open. Little finger on the 3rd fret of the thinnest string, and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, which is the string next to it. So basically those 3 fingers are all in a line, and you've got this one on the 2nd fret, and then strum them. Strum them separately, make sure they're all ringing out, and then strum them all together. Obviously, don't hold your guitar like this. It's very bad for your posture. Oh. All right. Have you ever tried a quilter? I have, and I didn't like it at all. And I've seen there's been some sponsored videos this week on the quilters, and I'm sorry. You know what? Who got me into the quilter? It was I heard about them, and then our friend Dr. McFarland swore by them, and I tried one. I got the one that's the removable head in the cabinet, and I didn't like it I didn't like it by itself as an amp, and I didn't like it with the modeler that I used it with. And I wanted to like it. I really did. It's one of those pieces of gear where you hear a lot of people say they're awesome. You want to like it. It will definitely suit a need that you have. And then you try it and you just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I don't think I could return that. I think I had to sell it at a loss. It was terrible. Just not for me at all. And yeah, there's a few pieces of gear that I'm pretty adamant about. Like, I tried that, I just don't like it. I've got a few things like that. I haven't, they tend to be things I didn't make videos on because I just didn't like them. And I don't tend to make those kind of videos. I do occasionally, especially if I get something and I do feel I spent a lot of money and wasted money on something, I will do that, but it's pretty rare. But I always tell people I'd tell you anything on the live stream, and that is, apart from my age, and that is one of the things that I just didn't like, and I would not recommend that. I would recommend the Fender FR12. I haven't tried the FR10, but the FR12 that I have sounds so good with the Quad Cortex and the other modelers. Now, the quilter supposedly can be used by itself without a modeler, which is appealing, but I just didn't like how it sounded. I can't explain it. I didn't like the sound of that amp at all. And I tried it for a while. I tried the EQ, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Can't explain it. But nowadays, I have my tube amp that I really like, my Mesa Mark 7. I have the quad. I love the Quad Cortex. I'll be honest with you. After NAMM, I almost sold it because they annoyed me with that whole Soon thing. Again, the firmware thing. And I just got the Kemper again, and Kemper has the app and everything. And I'll just use the Kemper. It's got the app. But I got to admit, as the weeks have gone by, whenever I play that Quad Cortex, it sounds so good, and it sounds so good with the Fender thing, the FR12, and then it doesn't have the app control, but it does have a touch screen. If I didn't make a change, I mean, with the electric stuff and a lot of this stuff, the fact of the matter is, once you've dialed it in, you shouldn't need to make adjustments at a gig. It's just nice to have the option to do it, and especially while you're setting the sounds up. But the Quad Cortex for me, of course, the sound is the most important thing, and the sound is so good, and it's so portable. So, Quad Cortex and the FR12 are going to be my rig, I think. I love it. I'm really happy with it. Is it perfect? No, nothing is. But the actual sound, the sound has to be the most important thing, right? The sound, the form factor for me is also very important. But yes, don't get me wrong, I really wish they had an app. Now, what you can do is you can go on Amazon and buy a Windows Surface for $250 and run a USB cable to the Quad Cortex and control it from the mic stand like that. That's pretty cool. You can do that. And I might do that, but I don't think I need to. Like I said, once I've dialed in my sounds, I have very basic needs. I don't tend to really change them again. And but that's an option. But yes, it should, again, like the rant said, it should have an editor. John says, I truly enjoy this. You are my birthday present. Thank you. Cheers, John. That's always good to have you here, my friend. I want to hear about it now. So I'm going to reach out to them. I've saved that webpage, Tiptonic, and I'm going to message them and say, we're talking about you today on a live stream. Any way we can do something together. Can I try them out? And then if I like them, I'll make a video about them. That'd be great. Chris has the FGX5 and it's great. Again, you just can't go wrong with them. You know, I've had a few. I had the FGX5, which went back because it had it was broken. It came from Guitar Center with a chip in it, like a dent in it. Then I had the FG3X, which I did a video about, which I really liked. That was going to be like my backup kind of busking guitar because it's loud and it's got a good pickup. Used that for quite a while. Then I had a load of credit at a store and I got the FG3, straight up FG3, no pickup. I think I'm right. And then that one went too. But yeah, they're just, you know, for me, I always find this hard to explain this, what I'm trying to say, but it just sounds ridiculous. But like I have the Martins that I have, they just have that thing, you know, they just have that prestigious, it may not even be real, just in my mind, the history and the connection and everything, and they are great guitars, and they've just got that thing, and they're Martin guitars. The Yamaha, every bit is good for sure. Different sounds maybe, but excellent sound. But I just didn't find myself picking it up. Now, to be fair, I don't often pick up the Martins either. I tend to pick up the Cole Clark. I always go for the same guitar. So if my Cole Clark is in the gig bag in the other room right now, I'll just grab that, plug it in and play that all the time. If I'm recording something, I'll grab one of the Martins and record that. That's basically it. All the other stuff is I just like to try it, really, honestly. But yeah, all that aside, the Yamaha FG, I saw those at NAMM. I saw those when I wasn't supposed to. I was at NAMM 2019. And I heard a rumor. I was walking in a hotel and someone said a room upstairs has got Yamaha up there showing some new stuff. And I basically, me and my friend blagged our way into this hotel room. And they were showing off the Storia guitars, which is another line of their guitars, and those red labels. And it was amazing. And then they came out a few months later. I think it was either 2018 or 2019 I saw that. It might have been 2018, actually. And they came out a few months later. And I got one of the first ones from Guitar Center. That's the one that had a break in it that was broken. And I've always said they're amazing, but it's really weird. It's only been the last few weeks that I've heard people going nuts about them. I don't know what happened. Suddenly everyone's like discovered them and going crazy. I don't. Maybe a video was put up, or maybe they're more available now. I don't know. But all I hear about now is the Yamaha red labels. Yes, that's right. It was 2019. Rip, TM Stevens, Sean Zulu bass. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Pretenders bass player, Vi, and many others. Yeah, I heard about it today. Rest in peace. And Bill Studio, probably Logic. Logic on iPad is going. So I actually signed up for Logic on iPad for the year, and I haven't used it because it's just so fiddly compared to a computer. I just wouldn't bother. You did update the firmware. Okay. So the only thing I'll say is do check out the settings on the S1 Pro Plus. Let me just show you what I mean here. Are there any other questions? No. Let me know if you've got any more questions. If you look at the settings here, it may have something about what it's outputting on the USB. And if it's not that, then it has to be Logic. Here we go. And then if it's not Logic, then I would reach out to Bose directly. They've got incredibly good support teams there, as I discovered when I had my problems with the first unit. one of the best companies out there for getting stuff right. Live stream mode allows the system to be recognized as an audio interface when you connect it to a computer using USB-C or your iPad, right? Connect to your door, right? When live stream mode is enabled, so you've got to enable it, the system passes a dual mono mix of 1, 2, and 3 to a connected computer. So it's sending whatever you're plugged into that. So you've got to go to the settings. You've got to enable live stream mode. Make sure you do that. They're just going to send a dual mono mix of everything plugged into it. So if it's a guitar and a mic, it'll send guitar and mic. If it's just guitar, it'll send just the guitar to the connected computer or iPad. In this mode, the channel volume controls behave like faders on a mixer. Okay, so that will set the levels going out to the iPad. And monitoring on channel 3, which is your basic level of the speaker in the room to use as your monitoring speaker. That doesn't affect the recording. And that's it. So that should be, as long as you enable that mode, that's like if you enable that mode and you plug in the guitar and you connect it with the USB-C cable to your iPad and you select the correct channel, you do have to select the correct channel in Logic on the iPad, of course. I'm not sure which one it would be. I would try them all to see which one it is. But then when you play, it should just send that signal mono to the iPad. There shouldn't be other stuff on there as well. Yeah, that's one thing that I'll say. It may be sometimes on something like this, like channel 1 will be the left channel because the device. Channel 2 will be a mix of everything. Channel 3 will be a dry signal. So do make sure you're selecting the correct channel when you're doing this. Adjust monitor volume. Yeah, that's everything on that. So if it's not any of that, then do reach out to Bose and tell them, describe the problem to them. They might be able to help you out. Stardance. Hello, Aaron. I also wear down my nails. My daughter recommended keratin brush on. It helps. I use Golden Gate thumb pick and large thin flat pick. Also going to try tip-ons. Yeah. I've just learned to live with it, and I don't really have a problem with that. But I'm definitely going to try these tip tonics. Ronnie, how you doing? Do you know if there's any upgrades to the Tonewood amp? Different sound effects. Thanks, Ronnie. I haven't tried a Tonewood amp since NAMM 2018 or something like that. So I'm the wrong person to ask, but what I'll do is I'll just do the same thing here as well. I'll go on the website. And you just look for support and firmware. And on a good site, it will tell you when the latest update was and what it includes. So here we go. Mac or Windows. Download and manual. There's no change log, unfortunately. There might be in here. The really good sites will tell you they'll give you like a change log, and it will show you all the updates they've ever released and what they've changed in each of the updates. This one may not do that. I'm just opening the file. Tonewood codes. No, it doesn't tell me. Again, you'd have to reach out to the company and ask them that question. Ask them what's the latest firmware update for the Tonewood amp and what does it change exactly? Yeah. I do like websites that actually show you very visibly like what they've changed and the history of all the changes, so you can actually see them all. Like if you go on the Shear and Looper site, and there was a firmware update day 1, and it shows you everything they changed, all the bug fixes. It shows every single one of them in the change log right on the screen. I think it's very rare that companies don't do that. So if they don't do that, like Tonewood haven't, you need to reach out to Tonewood and ask them, and hopefully they can tell you. All right, John says, I totally understand your thoughts on Yamaha and Martin. I wouldn't mind owning Yamaha, perhaps got to think about it. I mean, look, the price is amazing. If I needed something like that, if I needed a really great sounding, sturdy, well-made acoustic under $1,000 for a certain gig I got, I'd have no problem. You know, say I had a D18 that cost me $3,300, and I got a gig where I needed a mahogany dreadnought to go and play outside 5 nights a week with no pickup. I'd have no problem getting a Yamaha and taking that. And I don't believe or agree in this whole beta guitar thing. I hate the whole beta concept. This thing of buying a cheap guitar just to be like aggressive with it and not care about it. No, that's not right. But I totally understand the thought of I've bought a flagship multi-$1,000 guitar that's irreplaceable, and I don't want to take it out 5 nights a week, so I'm going to get something else, and that for me would be the Yamaha. And the thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if along the way you actually ended up preferring that guitar for the very reason I said earlier, which is you end up playing that guitar so much over the other one that you bond with it, and that becomes your main guitar. So there you go. I really think everyone should have one. They also make the small body as well. You can get the small body version, the large body version, the one with the pickup, the one without the pickup, the one that's made in Japan, and even the most expensive one made in Japan with the dreadnought and the electronics. Even that's still way under $2,000. And don't forget, you can get good deals on these too. You can buy these used. You can get discounts on these because they're Yamaha. Most stores will give you a discount. So just imagine if you could find one of those for like $600 out of the door, brand new. I mean, you're laughing. You're absolutely laughing. You might need a setup on it, to be fair, but then a lot of guitars do. So, yeah, great. That really has become a gold standard, and for very good reasons. All right, now I'm going to wrap things up because now it's been 2 hours, over 2 hours, and I'm getting really tired, and I was tired anyway, but I love doing this, so I don't mind because I just love doing the live streams. I love interacting with the questions, learning new things, and meeting new people. It's awesome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. So once again, before I go, very important to me, Wednesday, I have Cole Clark coming on the show. It's a weird time. It's 7 p.m. EST Wednesday. If you could make it, please do join us live. It's always nice when these guests come on to have people here watching. It's always nice to have some numbers and have the questions as well. That's what a live stream is all about, right? So if you can attend, please do. If not, please watch the replay and leave a comment on the replay. Cole Clark deserve to get a lot more attention than they do, in my opinion. And they're very dear to my heart because I do currently use these on stage. So that'll be a great live stream, I think. If you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. And I never like to say what videos I'm working on because that means I don't do them. But I have to do a Martin video this week. I already gave you a sneak preview of that. I have to do a Mackie video this week. And I want to do the guitar that's going back, the Sam Ash that's broken, the Oasis guitar. So you may see 3 videos this week. Well, you'll definitely see 2, because if I don't do those 2, I'll be in trouble. So it's going to be a good week. It's going to be a busy week. Please watch those videos, leave a comment, like them, share them if you can. Because like I always say, the more views I get on the videos, the more power the channel has. I mean, this week's video with the Line 6 did incredibly well. If every video did that well, I'd be flying. But obviously not all videos do that well. But it's all about the people, really. If you watch them, it really helps me out. If you're buying from Sweetwater this week, please click on my link. I've got the affiliate link to Sweetwater on all the videos now. Please use that if you're going to be buying something. Obviously, don't buy something if you're not going to be buying something. But if you are, then please use that link. Have a great week. Take care and be well. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully on Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST, and in the video this week. And I look forward to seeing you again next Monday as usual. Just double check next Monday's good. No, next Monday I have a party, 6 till 9. So I cannot do. So next Monday will be at the early time then. See the times. Not only do I sometimes move the times, the clocks also change. It drives us all crazy. Next Monday definitely won't be at 4 o'clock. Next Monday will be at 2 o'clock EST. And I'll post that. I've been posting the live streams earlier. So when you go to my page, you'll see when they're coming up like a week ahead. So bear that in mind. But yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST, if you can make it. If not, I'll see you in a video or a live stream soon. Take care and be well. As always, Rosanna, thank you so much. And Lee as well. Thank you so much for doing the moderation. Really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And everyone take care. Lots of new names here as well. Good to see you, Ronnie. Very cool. Thank you, Manchester. Go and check out that Liam Gallagher interview on Jonathan Ross. It's up on YouTube. It's kind of funny with John Squire as well. And 11 p.m. Wednesday, if you can make it in the UK, then please do. If not, watch the replay. Back to back. Thank you, everyone. Too many names to call out. So thanks, everyone, for your questions. Subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you Wednesday or in a video this week. If not, I'll see you next week on the live stream again. Take care and be well. Enjoy your guitar this week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I need a holiday is what she said to me. I need to get away from you. And as I watched her lying next to me,